Hey guys, Jake here from How To Mobility. Today we're going to run through a figure 4 PAILs and rails set for strengthening up the hamstrings. So this exercise here is our seated figure 4 PAILs and rails. So simply with this exercise, similar to our figure 4 stretch, we are going to come into this figure 4 position. From here, we are going to just place our hands behind us. We are doing a PAILs and rails set. So essentially we are doing activation in one direction and then following it up with activation through the other. So it's progressive angular isometric loading and regressive angular isometric loading. And what we use this for is to build up a lot of strength. We're doing isometrics, which is really good for building up that strength in the tissue and building up the nerve, the signal from the nervous system through to the muscles. So with this exercise, we are simply going to be in our figure 4 position. For a start, we're going to be pushing into the ground. So imagine you're trying to do hip extension and drive your whole leg into the ground using your hands here so your body doesn't actually move, but you're going to start off just at 20% of activation, and then very slowly we're going to increase that activation until we reach all the way up to 100%. So it should take about 10 seconds to 20 seconds to work your way up to 100%. So I'm gradually working up now. I'm at about 100% now. So I'm pushing as hard as I possibly can into the ground, really trying to drive with my glutes and my hamstrings pushing down as hard as we possibly can. We hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds. And once we finish holding this position for that 20 to 30 seconds, I will make it a little bit shorter now, but we're going to try and activate our quads and our hip flexors to pull our body further over the top. So from here, I'm going to go the opposite way in 3, 2, 1, and we're very slowly going to use all these muscles here to pull our body further over the top. So we're pulling, pulling, pulling. Now I'm getting a really nice stretch through the back of the hamstring. So I'm just going to keep activating these tissues as hard as I possibly can. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to stop there. I'm going to use my hands to secure this new position. And now we're going to activate back into the ground again. We're going to use that extra range that we've just opened up, pushing into the ground to get some activation through the hamstrings and normalize this new position that we're in. Activating down for the same amount of time. Again, I'll make it a little bit shorter. 3, 2, 1, and now I activate again, and I'm going to try and pull the body further over the top. And by activating these muscles up in here, all the hip flexors, all the quads, we're pulling that body over and we're getting more hip flexion, which means we can get into the end ranges of our hip extension to strengthen our hamstrings and our glutes through that hip extension at the very end ranges of what would be hip extension in hip flexion. When you're done, very slowly relax. Let your body normalize that new position for about 10-15 seconds, so don't come out of it straight away, and then very slowly allow your body to ease back out of it. And when you jump up, you should feel really, really nice through that hamstring, through the quads. The quads might be a little bit tender from that activation, pulling yourself into that furthest end range. Sometimes they'll cramp. If they do cramp, it's not a bad thing. Usually it's actually a really good thing, and you'll find that you have more range into hip flexion beyond that point. I hope you got something out of that video. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell button to make sure you're notified whenever I send out new content. Thank you so much.